Hey YouTube, I'm Chris and today is Wednesday, 12/12/12. This is our last official video for the EPS 14 collaborative vlog, and I wanted to explain to you a little bit about what this project looked like. We started off with 5 people, each taking a day of the week. One of us would pose a question and everyone would answer it on their respective day through the video upload. Our questions centered around technology and education. This project started off with an idea I had during our first class meeting at the university. And today's video is the first time we got together in the same room to record. I'm going to have my group introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Heather. I'm Friday, and my area of expertise is educational technology.
Hi, I'm Bobby. I'm Tuesday, and my expertise is chemistry and chemical education.
Hi, I'm Dee Dee. I'm Thursday, and my expertise is providing career services to college students.
Hi, I'm Rob. I'm Wednesday, and my expertise is science education.
What made you decide you wanted to join the vlog group?
I was the last to join the group, and I think mostly what made me decide to do it was Chris was so excited about it that I figured it would be worth trying. It was a little scary, this idea of video, and I wasn't really sure where we were going, but it worked out.
I like the idea of, the entire idea behind doing the video blog. I've seen a lot of chemistry blogs, and they are getting more traction, and I always thought having an imprint or a footprint on the space in which chemistry works would be kind of interesting, so this is kind of an intro for me in that respect.
I'd never heard of this before, so I figured, hey, why not? I'm taking this class in addition to a full-time job. It's got to be some sort of adventure, and I knew that I learn best by doing. So when Chris proposed the idea of let's just get in there and do it, I thought, yeah, it's going to take me a while to figure it out, so if we start right away and get doing something every week, it just seemed to fit on a number of levels for me.
I wanted to join in with the vlog group because it dealt with technology, and like most people in the class, I was interested in technology, but I'm especially interested in how technology can be used to help people learn. So I figured from having this experience, I might gain better insights as to how YouTube and video could help people learn. How did you prepare for the videos? Before I did my video, I actually wrote out most of what I thought I wanted to say. I wouldn't write it out word for word, but I'd hit on the main points.
Before I did my videos, I thought about that question for the week that we had leading up to it and jotted down thoughts during the week. This actually involved a lot of thinking on my part, but I was glad to have the time, and I also listened to everybody else's videos because that prompted some new thoughts in me. But on production day, I literally just wrote down my thoughts in an outline, and I practiced once or twice aloud before videoing, and I just taped once.
I really didn't have a whole lot of external prompting. I just kind of sat down with the question and chewed it over for a couple hours. And when I felt comfortable with what I was wanting to say, I just shot the video as I went. If there was issues, I would obviously stop and reshoot those.
Like a lot of other people, I thought a lot about the questions and how they personally responded with me and what I might be able to offer that was different. I watched everybody's videos. I try to remember that it was a visual thing and think about what kind of images showed up when I was thinking about preparing and try to find something that might help, especially people who weren't familiar with some of the topics or items I was mentioning, kind of ground them in what I was talking about.
I'd sit down on my computer and write for about 10 minutes, and then I would read verbatim as if I was looking at a teleprompter.
We asked each other how we recorded our videos, and we found out that we each just sat in front of our computer, whether it was a desktop or a laptop, and recorded our videos. How did you edit your videos? I didn't do any editing. I thought it was a good accomplishment on a weekly basis to even make one and get it uploaded, and I practiced before I recorded and was happy enough with that.
I also used very little editing. I feel that there are sometimes cues that I give off that would be lost in just cutting it out because of just being extraneous, dead space time, or dead time on the camera, like that. It gives me more of, at least to me, an organic feel to how I did my talks.
I think I might have been on the oddball in the group. I always recorded at least twice, sometimes 3 or 4 times, picking out what I liked, what I didn't, editing it together. And every video I made, because I wanted to learn how to make videos better, I made myself do something I didn't know how to do the last time.
Each time I recorded something, I would have mistakes or long breaths or something. So what I would do is I would record it 8, 9, 10, 20, 50 times, but in the same take. And then I would cut everything, making it into like a CD quality without any breaths, and so if you watch my videos, you won't even hear me breathe.
I tried to cut out a lot of the dead time and the breaths as well, but I feel like I almost lost something in the quality or the experience. Sometimes when I look back at mine, I felt like it was a little bit mechanical. I would see that a lot of the times I edited out me blinking, so when you look at the video, I was barely blinking. I was actually blinking, just those parts were edited out.
What was one thing that we learned about ourselves from doing this project? And I talk a lot. I talk very long-windedly, and I guess at a slower pace than some of the other people in the group. And it's just something that I never really thought of until you sit down and you're editing video of yourself. It's like, wow, this is 15 minutes of me just rambling on about a story.
I guess one thing I learned about myself that I actually do have something to say. I often sit in class and I have thoughts in my head, but I don't get it out there. I usually sort of just still processing. And this really forced me to get my ideas together and put them out there and just let them be there.
One thing that I learned about myself is that I use a lot of facial expressions when I talk. Most of those were edited out. When I get to a point where I said something, right afterwards I'd make a weird facial expression. Like, I felt self-conscious about it at first. I had thoughts like, do I really make those faces all the time? Based on the fact that I saw that consistently each week, I must, but I never really realized that about myself before.
I was really surprised by how much technology has impacted me in all different ways. People would ask a question, and I'd be like, oh man, I don't know if I have anything to say about that. After a few days of really thinking about it, like, wow, that is really important. And it has actually impacted my life in a number of different ways. It was that self-reflection process and understanding how much technology has integrated itself always into my life.
I realized I don't want to be a vlogger. I'd rather be writing instead of actually narrating it to the screen.
What is one thing you have learned about your group mates? Everyone came from such incredibly different backgrounds that I really wasn't sure if as a group we could meld. This has actually been the best group that I have worked with in graduate study.
There are so many little things about each person in this room right now that I can't really say with any definitiveness. What have I learned? Such a diverse group worked pretty well, and we're having a good time doing this.
I learned that people will come through adversity no matter where they come from. It was really cool to see how my group mates who were really apprehensive really impressed me with their videos.
One thing I learned about my group mates was really how much appreciation I had for the diversity of the group and how unique everyone was, as we've all said. But the format that we did this, seeing each person day by day, really struck me in hindsight looking back on it, that I really got to know each person as an individual, where so many times when you work in a group, you're sort of talking over each other, and at the end of a session you might go, well, what was that person's contribution really? And so the format really lent itself well to getting to know people.
I learned that Chris has a cat.
There was some amazing sense of humors in this group. A family plan, you and your cat. I don't think there was a week there wasn't at least somebody who pulled some little verbal stunt. Robert, you were definitely the king of that. What was one thing you learned from this project about technology? iPad, and it's new in my life to do this project, and so I had a lot of little things I had to learn from that. What I learned again is even though the whole world of Apple is supposed to be so great when videos and things, is this format thing is still such a major problem. Especially that last video, I was just about ready to throw my computer and my iPad out the door because it was just so frustrating.
You'll recall I'm the one who really had no experience with this at all, and honestly I was really surprised how it's not that complicated, but it was really actually doable. And then that leads me to the question, is it maybe too easy?
Something that I learned about technology from this project is that in order to really understand a technology, it helps to use it. From actually participating in it, I feel like I know it a lot better, and I think that has a lot of implications for teachers and any kind of technology. If they have the opportunity to use it with a specific purpose, and if they have a group of people that they can talk about with it, just like I had the people in my group to talk about it before or after our weekly meetings for class, I think that could be a really helpful and effective way to learn how to use a new technology.
How could I use this vlogging with my students? I could easily see successful students taking a day a week, maybe a different major every day of the week, and making a little video, putting it out there for other students who wanted to follow some models of success. It would be a way for students to mentor each other and the recipient getting it on his or her own time.
I'd be interested in experimenting with using vlogging in a high school science classroom by giving students some sort of problem that doesn't have an easy answer. So not something that's a quick solution with a math answer, but giving students something like a case study and having students take turns adding to that with information that they find. Another example of using vlogging that could be effective is for any sort of online class. I think that most people would agree that a class is better if there's a community that's built among the students. For our group, we really built a community by doing this process. So that when we met up in our face-to-face class, I just felt more connected to the people in my group. And when I read things that they posted on the discussion board, I also felt like what they said resonated more than what other people who weren't in my group said.
I could easily see using vlog or a vlog system in a high school or even a college level class where there is a given lecture that I go over a certain material and there's not enough time in the day to actually get through everything and to actually post comments about more nuanced points of what I couldn't get to in class and have that just posted online so that they can go and find some more common questions that may have arisen that I couldn't have gotten to. Secondly, they could respond by having their own video in which they try and work through a problem and try and rationalize their discussion if they couldn't come to an office hour or a meeting with me.
At the graduate level, for these seminar classes where you're tackling more philosophical questions, to allow all the voices to be heard and to have some time and to do some reflection. It'd be amazing to have this be like your discussion boards are now used, but I think you'd get a lot more personal connection with people through like a video log. So if every week everybody posted a video log and your assignment was to watch it and then come discuss it in person, I think that would be an amazing hybrid version of education that I haven't seen actually done. And the second thing is I think this would be amazing in the workplace, especially these large companies that bring in groups of people at the same time. This would be a good way for people to get to know each other in smaller groups of new employees and to explore some of the topics in culture that are really important to the company.
I think it'd be awesome to see 5 musicians each take a day and show off something each day, and then they can comment with each other. I think that would also possibly lead to them having their own channels and developing their own fans.
Would you do this again, and would it be formally or informal? And for me, unfortunately, my life doesn't really allow for anything that's informal, so it would have to be formally, but I would definitely do it again. That would be okay, that it would be part of either my education or part of my work.
I would definitely do this again in either a formal or informal place. I don't really mind that. This whole project has kind of given me an insight into the YouTube videos that I've seen on various topics, being from educational to gaming to sports, and how they go about conveying the information they want to. And I was always interested how they would do that, and this has given me an insight into that.
You guys know me. I'm not going to suddenly change hobbies and pick up video logging and do this every week. But I really enjoyed the project, and I would definitely do it again as a part of a formal setting, and I could see applying it in work situations also.
I'd prefer not to do this again in a formal setting. I would much rather do it in an informal setting. I think it would be awesome to get a bunch of YouTube musicians together and have a day to do a random song and then have 4 other people with me there.
So I can see myself doing this again in either a formal or an informal setting. I felt with the project, to some degree, it still felt like there's a requirement, just like when you had a weekly post that was due on discussion board. I found myself thinking, on Wednesday I'm going to have to do my video. But that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy the process.
Has this project inspired you in any way? I had alluded to in one of my videos about setting up a blog of some sort for chemistry and science education or science musings, and I would love to incorporate a video portion into that process.
I originally wanted to do this project because of the social aspects of a collaborative vlog. However, I have been inspired to now look into the educational impact that it has on people.
One, it's convinced me that group projects can be a positive thing and can work and can lead to learning and all types of wonderful things, which I was beginning to lose faith about. And the second thing is it's allowed me to see that technology, which we often treat as being antisocial, can be very social.
Through this project, I've been inspired to pay a lot more attention to YouTube. I really had sort of ignored all the developments out there, and I considered it more just sort of an entertainment venue, and now I'm seeing it more as an educational venue, so I can see a lot of uses for it, and I would never have known this if I hadn't taken part in this project.
It inspired me to step outside my comfort zone and do something that was a little bit risky to me at first, just by the fact that I wasn't quite comfortable with the idea initially. I'd be curious if I taught high school again, if I put tutorials up, maybe I'd consider doing like a flipped classroom kind of idea, or I just wonder what kind of impact it might have on me in how it might change the way that I go about explaining things or think about the sort of lecture parts of class with my students. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Goodbye.
If you have any comments, put them in the box below.